The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Deontay Wilder saying that he's going to knock out Luis Ortiz in the first round. Do you believe him?
No,
True.
No. I don't believe him. But I believe he can get the knockout. You know what I'm saying? Ortiz is old. I don't want to see Wilder fight Luis Ortiz. I mean, you know what? Here's the thing. See, Wilder's a good guy. Maybe he's, you know what I'm saying? I know they have both have a child that has issues or something. So I'm thinking maybe that's the one bond that they share. So maybe he's thinking about, let me give him another shot to get some bread. That's what I'm thinking. I'm looking at this fight as. I think Deontay Wilder is just going to be a repeat of what he did. I need to see Wilder in there with somebody.
All right. G.
I believe Wilder's gonna try. You know what I'm saying? Now, Ortiz, he's tricky because again, he's a counter puncher. You know what I mean? That would be real risky for Wilder to try to pull off a Brazil. You know, although Ortiz is pretty old, I wouldn't risk it if I was Wilder. Like, if you could beat him, you don't have to do anything reckless. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be honest with you. Trill, I don't even want you to even do this fight. This is where now I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite. Well, maybe I won't. Maybe I will applaud me for this. I do believe this is cherry picking. Nobody was looking for this fight. Nobody wanted to see this fight. Mm-hmm. We want you to fight the big boys. Like, we want to see the Tyson Fury rematch. We want to see you fight against AJ. Now that Andy Ruiz has put himself up there, we want to see you fight Andy Ruiz. Fighting Ortiz, hey, it's not like no one's like down at Ortiz, but it's just like, yo, come on, we believe that it's going to be the same outcome. Now, I think what he's doing is, by saying stuff like this, it sparks interest in the fight. And so by, us saying like, oh, yo, round one, but it's like, come on, man, it doesn't matter. He's going to probably knock him out, Now Ortiz has a chance too. But again, nobody wants to see it, so it technically doesn't matter.
Yeah. Question, who has Ortiz fought since the Wilder?
Christian Hammer, I believe, and some dude Travis something.
2 tune-ups.
So yeah, I believe Wilder's probably just looking out.
No, but Wilder has to, because remember, Eddie tried to get Ortiz for the Miller replacement, and that whole situation didn't happen. So I'm assuming that Al Heyman probably was like, "Yo, Ortiz, don't take that fight on the zone. We're gonna give you the Wilder rematch," and they're just honoring their little deal that they gave him, because nobody, I don't see why they would want to even make the fight again, unless they're like, yo, you know what, we gotta look after Ortiz because he looked after us to do the zone dirty.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he's gonna win, but I don't think he gets taken out by one punch.
Kim, man, you look like you itching over there. You look like you itching over
Before I
there.
even get to this Wilder nonsense,
Your man Heyman did Ortiz dirty. He told him not to take the AJ fight and left $15 million on the table. He ain't getting that.
You said your man Hammer?
Heyman
Oh, Heyman.
did Ortiz dirty. Told him he $15 million on the table. He's not seeing that again. You seen that in the Wilder rematch? Wilder ain't even seen $15 million. The man got a kid to take care of.
Yo, forget all that. Is Wilder knocking Ortiz out in the first
No,
round?
he's not. Even better.
Ortiz coming to take that man's head off, yo. He cost him $15 million.
Yo, can we do predictions right now?
Nah, we don't even know when the fight. The fight hasn't even been announced yet.
Set the date. Get the man a date.
They said they're going to announce the fight on the date of the Porter Spence fight.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think he's going to knock him out in the first round?
No. This is why I see the fight going. Wilder, they ain't going to take him out in the first round. Ortiz is going to give him that work.
Give him that work. And y'all you talking about he old, man. The fight wasn't like over a year and a half, 2 years now.
He ain't get that old, man.
He been chilling, yo.
Hey, we all know Ortiz play with them drugs, man. He play with them drugs.
Oh God! Hey, I'm just gonna jump in right here because I don't really. Yo, so be easy, bro.
Chill, champ, chill.
Yo,
This episode, we
You on something, man.
yeah, I'm gonna need you to rock with me on this because we're gonna
Yes.
do a few things here. One, I'm just gonna break down something.
Go ahead.
Deontay Wilder can't knock out a skilled fighter in the first round, right? He's so confident now because time has passed and Luis Ortiz has aged some, and we know that Luis Ortiz is an older fighter now. But if you recall that fight with Luis Ortiz, he was actually winning until he got hurt. And if you recall, he hurt Deontay Wilder badly, had him doing a stanky leg on his way to the corner. Then when the bell rung for the next round, they stopped him from coming out and taking that L, gave him an additional 45 plus seconds to recover, and then he was able to win that fight. That's why if you look at his tweet, Deontay Wilder says, I'm avenging all my controversial fights, right? So he knows deep down inside it's a controversial fight. Why? Because he knows that if they sent him straight out without giving him that extra time, people believe he would have gotten knocked out. So with that being said, I want to take the time to just state facts that can't be debated.
Hold on, before you stay fast, can I just say, that sounds like he cherry picking. He going to the cherry field to pick cherries, man. That's all I'm saying. Your man Wilder cherry picks.
Yo, all right.
Avenge all his controversial
So can I just state some facts for a second? Right? I have in front of me Deontay Wilder's resume. Right? So Deontay Wilder fought Malik Scott. He fought Malik Scott on August 16th. Actually, he fought Malik Scott on March 15th, 2014. I'll just tell you quickly, YouTube that video. He didn't even touch Malik Scott. Malik Scott fell and took a dive, basically. Then on August 16th, 2014, he fought Jason Gavin. Jason Gavin had an impressive record of 25 wins and 16 losses and 4 draws. Okay? Deontay Wilder beat him. Then he got his title shot against Bermane Stiverne, which he won by unanimous decision. As time has passed, we've seen the quality of fighter that Bermane Stiverne is, especially in the Wilder rematch. On June 13th, 2015, Deontay Wilder fought Eric Molina and went life and death with him. Eric Molina hurt Deontay Wilder in that fight. YouTube it. You can see Deontay Wilder doing a stanky leg again, as he tends to do when he gets rocked and he gets hurt. But he was able to win and beat Eric Molina. Let's just highlight, Eric Molina has never been a world beater. He's never been an elite level fighter. He's never been a guy who we were like, yo, this is a future champion in the making, right? He fought Arthur Spilka on January 16, 2016, and he knocked out Arthur Spilka. But as we know, Arthur Spilka has been knocked out 4 times to this day by a bunch of opponents who aren't elite level contenders. So what are we saying about Arthur Spilka? Chris Arreola retired in that fight and wasn't able to continue, but we've seen Chris Arreola lose to Adam Kanowski and a bunch of Thomas Adamak and a bunch of other fighters. So really, what quality opponent is Chris Arreola?
That wasn't a good Chris Arreola. That was an overweight Chris.
Exactly.
No good training.
And then we saw on February 25th, 2017, Deontay Wilder get outboxed by Gerald Washington, a guy who played football, came to boxing late, and was winning majority of the rounds until he got knocked out by Deontay Wilder. The Bermane Stiverne rematch is a joke. Bermane Stiverne threw 2 punches that entire fight and didn't land any of them. He was out of breath at the press conference. You can pull that up. Then he fought Luis Ortiz. I already got into what happened in that first fight, him getting the blessing from the referee, the blessing from the doctor to save him. Then he fought Tyson Fury. Oh, let me just bring out one more point about this Luis Ortiz fight. Luis Ortiz took that fight on 5 weeks' notice. He only had 5 weeks to train for that fight. On 5 weeks' notice, beat the snot out of Deontay Wilder. Had him knocked out, and they had to cheat for him to win. Then Deontay Wilder fights Tyson Fury, who was out of the sport for years, was 400 pounds, dropped 150 pounds in weight, came in the ring and outboxed him for 12 rounds. He couldn't even knock out a Tyson Fury who was out of the game and was 400 pounds. Couldn't even beat him. Forget knock him out. He couldn't even beat him.
That was a bad cherry.
Yo, bad cherry, exactly. So then he fought Dominique Brazil, who was coming off a 1.5-year layoff. The first mandatory he's ever fought. All of a sudden, he cares about fighting mandatories. Now, the first mandatory he ever fought was Dominique Brazil. Oh, I gotta fight my mandatory. Tell me one of these fighters that I named who's ever been champion, who's ever been a threat to become champion. Tell me one of these fighters I named who's as good as Andy Ruiz, who's as good as Dillian White. Tell me that he's beaten. But this is the most important thing. Yo, pull up those texts I want to point out to the people at home. Right? On January 17th, 2015, can you tell me what G wrote? What G from Boxing Bros, Mr. Wilder 2020 himself, can you tell me what he wrote on Facebook?
He said, let me pull it up real quick.
Come on, you're supposed to have the evidence ready.
He said, Wilder needs a new trainer or needs to improve his boxing IQ.
Who was he going for in that fight?
He was going for Wilder.
In the Birdman
Oh, no. Oh, that was
in
fight.
response to Fury.
Fury.
Man,
I'm
In the Wilder fight. In the Wilder fight.
drops the ball, boy.
I never said I was the best data analyst. I'm the best cameraman.
What did he write for the Wilder Stavern fight?
The Haitian Mr. T is in the building looking like a black gladiator. Let's go, Stavern! Let's go, Stavern!
My man, the Wilder 2020 at this table was going for Bermain Stavern to win. Was trashing Wilder. Now he's Mr. Wilder 2020. What did he say after the Tyson Fury Wilder fight?
Wilder needs to get a new trainer or brush up on his boxing IQ.
Listen.
Yo, can I respond to this? I feel like I'm being accused of something.
Before you being accused, let me just step in real quick in G's defense. G failed. G always liked Wilder. But G was put in a position that a lot of boxing fans are put in a position. Like Mexican fans. Mexican fans, they love De La Hoya. They was rooting for De La Hoya. Even though they felt that Floyd might win. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like G went for his countrymen. Stavern being Haitian, G felt like he's Haitian, so he's gonna go for his countrymen, even though he was a Wilder fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hold that.
I got it. For starters, that's a lie. I know. I watched a fight with G, so Trill can fall back. So that's one. Now two. Bro, you were not a Wilder fan. You were not a Wilder fan, bro. You said. Hold on, wait. You said Stavern was gonna smoke him, and you highlighted his limited boxing ability. That's one. And two, I'm Puerto Rican. Now I love Miguel Cotto. But when he fought Floyd, I wasn't like, yo, I'm forced to pick Miguel Cotto. No, I picked what's real.
Some people go with
and then you go down with your squad.
And I did. And I was hurt.
But you never. Here's the thing. Seth Mitchell was around at the same time as Deontay Wilder. Can you please tell the people who you said was the best heavyweight at that time? Can you please tell the people? Seth Mitchell was around the same time as Deontay Wilder. Can you please tell the people who you said was the best heavyweight?
Okay, so now.
Listen.
Just tell the people.
All right, listen. I believe this
Seth Mitchell or Deontay Wilder?
Hold on, I believe in Seth Mitchell. I bought into his story. I really wanted that man to be.
But you thought he was better than Deontay Wilder, right? That's what I'm asking you. At that time, you thought he was better than Deontay Wilder, right?
I thought he was better than everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I was like, he's going to take the world by storm. He's going to be the heavyweight champion of the world.
Can you please tell the people what happened when he fought Chris Arreola?
Yo, listen. That was my wake up call. But people, that was my wake up call to realize, like, all right, you know what? Yo, G was wrong. It happens. You know what I mean? When I was rooting for Stavern again.
All right, that was your wake up call. That was your wake up call.
Yep.
Now, can you please tell the people what happened? Because this was after Seth Mitchell got body bagged by Chris Arreola. Stavern fought Deontay Wilder. Can you please tell the people? I'm sorry.
I have some breaking news.
Okay.
March 3rd, Luis Ortiz fought Deontay Wilder, right?
Yes.
2018. In his post.
Deontay Wilder must be blessed by the ancestors.
Which I've been saying for forever.
I've been saying I think he's in it. Deontay Wilder was a little lucky in that fight, and some divine intervention happened. So let's just be clear on that.
Okay.
You weren't
Now
too
can I respond to all these allegations?
No, and you weren't there, Stavern too. You didn't ride for Stavern. You wasn't in the car with Stavern too.
Oh, thank you. I got to ride with my countrymen, but in Wilder Stavern too,
My man.
You know
Stavern
why?
got a flag. You got out the car. It was like, yo,
Yo, thank you, bro.
I'ma head out.
Yo, if you ride with your countrymen, you ride with your countrymen all the time.
I'm
Bernie is the word too. He was riding with him.
Can I explain? Can I explain now?
To his defense.
This ain't even hard to explain. Like,
He learned his lesson.
that's what I'm saying. Yo, listen. First and foremost, let's just be real, right? You gotta understand. Stavern at the time was the WBC champion, the Haitian American champion. I was like, yo, my people is on the map. Thank you. First. So I was like, obviously, I'm gonna rep my set. When I seen that fight, I was like, whoa, Stavern really ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? Yo, listen, it was pretty bad because it's Wilder. You know what I'm saying? And I'm about to explain my logic. Now, since forever, I've always said Wilder has flaws, right? However, he has the great equalizer, the right hand of God. You know what I'm saying? So because he has that right hand of God, most of his fights, Wilder is losing by the rounds. And he just lands that. You know what I'm saying? When I watched the Ortiz fight, I think I watched it with y'all.
Yes.
And I was like, damn, yo, my man's losing. Then out of nowhere, boop, like the typical Wilder it is. So when you see that after back to back, yo, we could clown him and trash his boxing IQ, his boxing ability. But again, when you got that great equalizer, he won me over.
If I may jump in just for a second, how can we not continue to clown him when you point out the fact that he fought Luis Ortiz, who had 5 weeks to prepare, and then he fought Tyson Fury when he was coming off of like over a 2-year layoff, and he had to drop over 150 pounds in weight, and he still couldn't knock that guy out. You keep giving him credit for knocking out people who haven't had full training camps and who've been out of the sport for over a year.
Yes.
Like Dominique Brazil was out of the sport for over a year. Tyson Fury was out of the sport for over 2 years. He hasn't had a shape. So my point is, yo, if you want to call a spade, then call it one, bro. That's all I'm saying.
So what y'all want me to say?
I want you to say your man's cherry picking. That's what I want you to say.
I said the last segment.
So you admit, out of all the heavyweight champions, his resume is the weakest. That currently
heavyweight champions.
No, that's what
Ruiz
and lineal. There's a lineal heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury. Then there's Andy Ruiz, right? And then there's Anthony Joshua, who just was the champion and is fighting for his title back. Out of all the people in the top 4, that includes your man Deontay Wilder. He has the weakest resume out of all of them. And that's facts. Big facts.
Okay.
What I'm saying about Deontay Wilder
Y'all got that. Hold on.
is when
He still got the greatest right hand
No.
in the division. You know what I'm saying?
I seen promise.
That's what I'm saying.
In Deontay Wilder.
I
I thought that he was
Bless
gonna
you.
be good. The Stavern
You
fight.
thought he was gonna be good.
No.
Say that louder.
No,
You
listen what I'm
thought
saying.
he was gonna be good.
His best fight to me to date has been the fight when he won the WBC belt. To me, that has been his best fight to date. I seen something different, and I want that Wilder. This Wilder that has been coming has been protected. He has been, because you have to. It's great business. I'm not even gonna get mad at him for great business. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's doing, if he's cherry picking and he's getting the, he got the great people behind him, and they're doing a good job. I just think that he's digressed. From what I've seen in the Stavern fight, he's not using the tools that I've seen. He uses movement, he uses jab, he uses right hands, he even hooked off of jabs. He was doing now, this Wilder that I'm seeing is just only looking for the
Exactly.
right hand.
I know I'm gonna land a right hand at some point.
The
Like, that's
only
it.
Wilder. And eventually, that's not going to work.
Exactly.
Because in the Tyson Fury fight, that almost didn't work. He's lucky he got away with that draw. He needs to go back to the drawing board, to be honest with you. He needs to go back to the drawing board.
And I agree with everything my lawyer is saying right now.
But the thing,
Because I said the same thing.
yeah, the thing is, we're not always going to be right. Sometimes I'm going to pick people, like I picked Andy Ruiz. I said that he was going to lose bad to AJ. And I was wrong, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that. Sometimes, it's
It ain't about picking wrong, but you not all of a sudden the captain and the cheerleader of the Ruiz bandwagon like this guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's my point, yo. That's what frustrates me. Because like, yo, I know for a fact this dude, when he had the chance to pick, when it was like, yo, Seth Mitchell, Wilder, Chris Areola, he picked Seth. Yo, the guy he picked was canceled a long time ago. So then he still didn't pick Wilder. He picked Bermain Stavern, his countryman in the first fight. But then the second fight he wasn't with his countryman. But then he goes with his countryman, and then his countryman loses. And then all of a sudden, I wake up one day and he's driving he's captain of the Wildette Club. Like, yo, Wilder 2020.
Listen.
Wilder's taking everyone out. Yo, Wilder, and I'm like, when did you become this Wilder, apologist? Like, I don't understand.
Let me explain.
Hold on, G.
This is easy to explain though.
No, how many cards you gonna get out on? You got on Seth Mitchell. You got on Stavern.
Yo,
Got off Stavern. Got on Wilder.
Come February, what you telling me, man?
Listen. All right. Remember, if y'all notice, every time I talk to y'all, right, and I be like saying the Wilder 2020 is for a reason, right? Because I believe if Wilder beats Fury, right, then people have to put respect on Wilder's name. I believe Wilder's great. Does his resume show greatness? Not yet. And so I really want him to get either a Fury victory or AJ victory under his belt to solidify that, yo, he deserves to be a heavyweight champion.
Don't take from his resume. Don't take, because it doesn't mean that he still can't be great, because you can't name me 5 fighters that Rocky Marciano fought. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean? Like,
Nah, but you see, but it's relative though, because we're comparing him to, let's just be real, to Anthony Joshua's resume. And I will be honest,
this is not to go to the
Anthony Joshua's resume is way more stacked than Deontay Wilder's.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. You got that. However, yo, I'm sorry, I'm repping for the home team. You know what I'm saying? Wilder's over here, AJ over there across the pond. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
There is no whole team for me though.
I respect it.
I am
Yo,
boxing.
hold on. I respect
with
it. We look at it a little differently, right? Yo, Wilder, he represents what we represent over here. He's from America. Yo, I want the heavyweight champion to be American. I'm rooting for the American. AJ, and I don't hate AJ, which I've said on several segments. Yo, AJ, you're a cool dude. But if you go up against Wilder, yo, I hope you're food. You know what I'm saying?
Heavyweight
just
champion
being
is
real.
American, Mexican American.
And hold on, and shout out to Luis. Yo, to be honest with you, I'm being real, yo. Yo, that's what I'm saying. I don't see where the contradiction come in. I still critique Wilder when he messes up. You read my post. This one right here, did the research. He read my post, and he sees that.
That isn't what this is about. This is what it's about for me, right? Because you got, if you can never win with a bandwagoner, right? If you're gonna jump off the Seth Mitchell wagon, get on the Stavern wagon, get on the Deontay Wilder wagon, there's no way to win.
Yo, P, if you notice my post though, I've been critiquing Deontay Wilder for a while. For like probably 3 fights, I still wrote publicly my issues and my concerns with Deontay Wilder. And yet I'm still a Deontay Wilder fan.
Here's what I'm saying, bro. It's all relative, but here's my point. When Ned the cameraman is riding with Anthony Joshua and Anthony Joshua loses to Andy Ruiz and you make fun of him for his fighter suffering an L to a fighter who has nothing to do with your fighter, right? And then you want to clown him for it. If he just jumps on Ruiz's bandwagon next and then Ruiz beats Deontay Wilder, your fighter, now he's making fun of you, you're going to be sitting there like, yo, he's not even your fighter. You were with Anthony Joshua. All I'm saying to you, man, is you done had so many bandwagons, bro. I don't know who your guy is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Seth Mitchell. We talking about Seth Mitchell.
And listen,
Seth Mitchell.
all
Seth
y'all guys are
Breaking
doing.
news.
I'm just sitting here laughing because all y'all dudes is doing is proving my point. And I was talking about the heavyweight division.
Now, I'm with you on that. But bro, you know how we are, bro. Because we've been around, we predicted from the beginning Earl Spence was gonna be the guy. We predicted definitely. But we follow it. But what happens is, for example, when I was with Felix Trinidad, right? Felix Trinidad is my guy. Like, Felix Trinidad was my favorite fighter. Like, Felix Trinidad, because I'm half Puerto Rican, I would go watch fights with my dad, my Puerto Rican side of the family, right? I got you, relax. And then we would watch Felix Trinidad. When Felix Trinidad lost to Bernard Hopkins, it wasn't like I just went and just hopped on Bernard Hopkins bandwagon and I was like straight done with Felix Trinidad. No, I respect Bernard Hopkins as a fighter. But if you ask me who was my favorite, I'm not going to stop being like, yo, Bernard Hopkins was that. I respect Bernard Hopkins as a skilled fighter, what he's accomplished in the game, but Felix was my guy. And what I'm saying is when you become like, oh, I don't rock with him no more, this is my guy. Yo, if Seth Mitchell's fighting Deontay Wilder, you better go for Seth Mitchell. That's all I'm saying, dog.
It never happened.
If it happens tomorrow, you better go for Seth Mitchell.
Yo, listen.
I'm still not a Costas fan.
4 years ago, D said, the only fighter I disown is Seth Mitchell. You disown 2 fighters, man.
That was 4 years ago,
4 years
before the
ago.
Stavern fight.
Now-
It's simple mathematics, bro.
Now you disown 2 fighters, man.
Nah, bro.
Oh,
How you
okay.
disown that fighter?
3 fighters.
Okay.
Who he disown?
Yo,
Now,
Stavern, man.
Bro,
Stavern, go.
Bro, Stavern just lost to Joy Joyce. What's that dude's name?
Listen.
Joy Joyce. Like, come on, son.
Stavern,
Yo, what are y'all talking about?
Stavern, too.
It's different views. It's different views on how we discover boxing. Like how you, like when you say like sometimes a person will have to see a fighter a couple of times before they be like, okay, I'm gonna rock with this guy. Like we're different.
Damn,
you
this
know what I'm
dude
saying?
sucked in his teeth.
Like when we looked at boxing, we always try to see who was the next dude that was coming. Now it seemed like there was always, did you hear about this guy?
Trevor.
Did you hear about this guy?
You trying
Did you hear about this guy?
Trevor.
Wait, hold on. You have different people. Like you got people that want to find the fighters from the ground up and find out. Then you got fighters, people that it's different views of watching boxing.
I get it. They just want to hop on to the popular person.
Yeah, there's some
which
people
is
that
all
be like,
right.
yeah. And then you know what I'm saying, it's us. I like to watch a transition and see like we see Mikey, the Earls, the Devons, the Dannies.
Yep.
They came up. You know what I'm saying? We got a chance to see these guys. Remember even I was gonna sound even more old, like the Zab Judas. Like we was just talking about Zab. I remember when Zab lost. I was a huge Zab Judah fan. And when he lost to Costa Zoo, I was still a Zab fan.
Exactly. Or you like Fernando Vargas, I remember.
I love
when
Fernando
Fernando
Vargas.
lost to Trinidad, you didn't stop liking Fernando.
I still like
When
Fernando.
Fernando lost to De La
De La
Hoya,
Hoya.
you didn't stop like, oh, I'm pro De La Hoya. And then as soon as De La Hoya loses, oh, I'm riding on the guy who beat him. Oh, now I'm riding this guy. Like, come on, man. Like, yo, go
But
down
hold on,
with your shit,
first,
yo.
that ain't happened with Seth Mitchell.
How did it not happen,
It was
bro?
the second fight where he took another loss. So I'm like, you didn't improve at all. Like,
I don't
at
know.
all.
Listen,
It was bad.
I don't know what we're gonna call this segment, but we're gonna have to go to another part 2 of this segment.
I gotta explain. Like, literally, yo, when Seth got knocked out, I think I cried.
This segment
yo.
exposed him.
Yo, listen, yo, I think I cried, yo. It hurt me, yo. Like, it hurt. Like, for real. Like, when I'm telling you, like, I was invested in Seth. I was invested.
Yeah, like you
so then
invested
I'm
in
like,
Wilder now.
yo, listen, if Wilder loses, I'm not gonna be hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We know.
Because you done had enough bandwagons.
hold on, no, time out.
He done went enough bandwagons.
Let me explain something. Stavern is different. Stavern, it was literally just off of the strength of, yo, he's Haitian. That was it. You know what I'm saying? So now, if you would have asked me like, yo, is Stavern the best? No. Like, come on, I'm not stupid.
Yo,
bro, like, you just see the skill sets.
Wait.
But now, if y'all are basing, if y'all thinking like I'm basing it based upon who's the most popular center, then I would have been a Team AJ guy, but I'm not. You see what I'm saying?
Can I say this? Just get this point up. I'm not trying to say oh, you were rooting for the way you rooting for Wilder is like, oh, you're stupid or you don't know boxing or anything. I'm saying you switch up on your fighters hella quick.
That's what I'm saying.
About hella quick.
That's what I'm saying.
Stavern was never really like my fighter, bro.
So then why'd you go for him then, bro?
I went for him because he was Haitian.
You went
like,
all
y'all not
in
seeing
on
this?
You went all
Think
in
about this.
on
Perfect example. Remember when
in.
Floyd Mayweather fought Guerrero? What's his first name? Robert Guerrero, right? Yo, all of these Mexicans knew Floyd was gonna win. And what they do? They rep him anyway. Why? Because he was Mexican.
You can't. So you're comparing yourself to the casual fan.
No.
Okay, so you can't hold yourself to the casual fan. No, here's my point. When we were at the fight, and Katie Taylor was fighting the other Serrano sister, right? And y'all were like, oh, D, you repping Puerto Rico. I was like, no, the hell I'm not. Katie Taylor's gonna win this fight, right? Did I not? Yeah. And y'all were like, oh, you don't love Puerto Rico. I said, I love Puerto Rico. I love my Puerto Rican fighters. That don't mean I'm delusional. Yeah. You understand? So yo, my man, you don't get to hide under the flag. Like, yo, dog, he had my flag. You don't get to do that, bro. Yo, you be real, dog. Either you want to be held to the casual standard or you want to be a boxing expert. You understand what I'm saying? Or someone who uses their boxing mind. So when you use your boxing mind, just like when I told you Tyson Fury was going to beat Deontay Wilder, you were so gassed, you bet Ned. You know what I'm saying? And you should have had a pay Ned. But anyone with boxing IQ could see that Tyson Fury was going to outbox him. His only hope was to land the right hand, which he did.
He's done his whole career.
But he couldn't get Tyson out of there. And my point to you is there's going to come a day where he's going to get outboxed and he's not going to land that right hand, bro.
I agree. But hold on. I agree with you on that.
What's the black coach he has?
Mark Ridley.
He needs to really listen to him. Wasn't he? He was the lightweight. He was the champion 135, right? And a gold medalist.
Mm-hmm. He was gold medalist. I know that. Yeah.
He knows boxing, yo. And when he was talking to him in that Stavern fight, I seen a different Deontay.
Now it's humble Deontay Wilder.
You know why? Because the fear was there. Because that was his first real test.
That Deontay Wilder needs to come back. That Deontay Wilder that fought Stavern needs to come back. Like I said, I don't know what we're going to call this segment, but we're going to need to have a part 2 of this. We're going to call it Exposing Wilder.
Actually, I'm just tell you what it is. Because real talk, I see so many people in my comment section, right, who act like they've been Wilder fans from the jump, and I know it's baloney. And one in particular, I know, because he was hopping on Amir Khan. I told him Amir Khan was going to lace this dude. Then he hopped on the other guy. He hopped on Lucas Matisse, saying he was going to beat my guy, Danny Garcia, and then Danny whooped. And Danny's been my guy. And you see how I still ride with Danny? Danny got 2 L's. I don't believe he lost. I say the facts. I'm not hopping off Danny Garcia. I still think he beats those guys in a rematch of it. That's how you handle business.
But Danny is talented. Like, I don't think y'all understand. It doesn't matter about them taking a loss. It's how they take a loss and how they progress from the loss. Seth Mitchell is done. Like, after his second loss, he retired because he knew, yo, you know what, this boxing day ain't for me. He doesn't have the skills.
Yo, bro, I don't fault you for that. When you had the chance to hop on a wagon, Stavern Wilder, you hopped on Stavern is the point, bro. If you would have said Wilder that fight, we would have been Gucci.
This is the
That's
difference.
all I'm saying. We would have been Gucci.
Hold on, first and foremost, I wasn't hopping on no Stavern wagon. It was literally, I was going for Stavern, and that was it. Because he was Haitian. It wasn't like, no, Stavern's the greatest.
Black,
okay. Haitian Mr. T.
Okay, you know why? Hold on. What he's not showing, this is what you're not showing, though. The image, right? Remember when he walked in? He literally walked in
you know why?
In a gladiator outfit. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
If you're being real, if you're being real with yourself, though, bro.
I am.
If you're being real, if you're being real with yourself, if Stavern beats Deontay Wilder, then he goes on to have the wins Wilder would have had. You would have still been on that wagon, bro. You detached yourself from that wagon because immediately when you hopped on, it hit a speed bump. And you say, you know what? This wagon looks like it's a little better. I would jump on that one.
Right. Yo, purpose
nah,
right?
bro, that's my point, dog.
I'm gonna give y'all an example, and then maybe I'll
bandwagoner and then wave the
listen, like Marcus Brown versus Pascal, right? Yo, skill wise, I would have been leaning towards Marcus, but because Pascal was Haitian, I was like, I'm gonna roll with the Asian. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I did it. I was like, hey, I'm rolling with the Asian.
I want a rematch for that fight.
You know what I'm saying? Which I want a rematch too. It was a good fight. But I was like, I'm rolling with the Asian. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether they win, lose, or draw, it's whatever to me. Because I wasn't really that invested in those two fighters like that anyway. Like, literally, I'm invested in Wilder.
So you weren't really that invested in Wilder or Stavern, right?
No. I'm invested in Wilder.
Keep thinking. No. Go ahead. Keep thinking.
All right.
So you weren't really invested in Stavern or Wilder, right?
No. I said, again, no. I gotta explain this. I'm invested in Wilder the same way I was invested in Seth Mitchell. You see what I'm saying? Like, where it's like, yo, I really want this dude to win. I want him to be great. I want him to be successful. I didn't care about Stavern. It was literally like, yo, he's Haitian. All right, but we got a Haitian champion. I'm going to rock with the Haitian champion. When Deontay Wilder beat him, I was like, whoa. Then it's like, yo, all right, Stavern, can you make any adjustments? Can you do this? Can you do that? He came out worse. He was fat. He was sloppy, all that. But even after that second loss, let me explain. Remember, even with the Joe Joyce Stavern fight, I was still rooting for Stavern over Joyce, and that dude's younger, strong, and all that. And I said, that's my point. You know why? Because it's like, yo, it is what it is. He's not that like. It's just your top picks, and then there's the guys that are like, I'm rooting for you, but it is what it is.
I got one thing to say, and then I'm done. Or you can wait until.
Oh no! I was just gonna say, I think. Probably Gene probably having a hard time to say. Like, for example, you was always a champ for Danny Garcia. When I became an advocate for Danny Garcia was the second fight with Evan Morales.
Yeah.
When he spun him around with that left hook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I was a huge Evan Morales fan. I love Evan Morales. You know what I'm saying? And when I seen what Danny did to Evan Morales the first fight, I said, okay, this kid got something. Then when I seen when he spun him around on that second fight, I said that this kid is the real deal. Because I was saying, why are they putting this kid in with guys? I was saying that they would just kept putting the kid Danny in with guys that were supposed to beat him, and he just kept winning. You know what I'm saying? So that's what made me get on to Danny. Now I see what you're trying to say with Wilder. When you was rooting for Stavern because he was Haitian, then you seen what Wilder did and made you look at Wilder a different way and say that this guy might could be the guy. You know what I'm saying? And then it made you want to champ for Wilder. But that's why I think that G's going with it at. You're going on it in a different way. Everybody's passion for this sport is different. Everybody's knowledge of the sport is different. Everybody's gonna judge fights differently. You look at it as a fighter like, if you with your guy, you go there with your guy, you pick your guy, and this is how it is. Everybody's not gonna be like that. So what was you gonna go say?
Yo, here's my point, bro. I hear you trying to be G's defender, bro. I'm not having none of it, dog. Straight up, I'm smashing all bull crap today. Yo, bro. When he had the chance to pick Wilder, he picked Seth Mitchell. You heard him. He cried when Seth lost. Why? Because that was his guy. Then he had the chance to pick a guy again. Yo,
clarification. But back then, I didn't know who Wilder was when I was rooting for Seth. Like, come on, son. Nobody knew who Wilder was at that time.
I knew who Wilder was, bro. I knew who Wilder was. And you know that. They used to always show, when Seth would fight, they would show the top American heavyweight contenders. And they would say who was going to be the guy from America. They would show Seth, they would show Wilder, they would show Areola, they would show these guys.
Wilder was much more humbler.
Yeah, exactly. And they were pushing Seth because they thought Seth was gonna be the guy. He had the look. Yeah, he had the look. They liked him, whatever. And then G bought into the story, and I told G, and this is a fact. I said Areola's gonna tap that behind. G was like, nah, Seth's gonna win, and Areola tapped that behind. Then it was time for the rematch. I know who you went for, Areola, because we knew what was up. Then in the rematch, I said, bro, he gonna tap him again. G said, nah, Seth is gonna be. Areola tapped him again, right? And then G was without a fighter. So now, okay, you can go and hop on Wilder's bandwagon, right? But no, he admits, I went Stavern because I thought Stavern was gonna win. And instantly after Stavern lost, he hopped on Wilder's bandwagon. Yo, that's not how you do business. When Costa Tszyu knocked out Zab Judah, you didn't come back and say, yo, Costa Tszyu, baby, that's my guy. That's my guy. Yo, my beef with him is you can never win with a bandwagoner because they're always gonna, I'm holding him to Wilder. Remember, he picked Wilder. All you Wildettes, y'all picked Wilder. So when he's on the floor looking for his mouthpiece, remember, you picked Wilder. That's it.
Please like and subscribe and check this out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I don't know what we're gonna call this segment.
Call it to this day.